Live from America's heartland, this is the Daily Truth Report with your host, Noah Christopher.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Truth Report. And also back with me today is an old friend, Jim Bazzani with Caleb and Brown. Jim, welcome back to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Noah. It's good to be back again.
And I think we probably have about a 1 or 2 second delay with the recording because Jim is in Australia. And even with tech as good as we have it, I think it does take a little bit of time for those electrons to go back and forth. So we'll have a very slight delay. And we also have, we were just talking before we went live, but I thought Australia was just hot and crocodiles and, outdoors year round, just blazing hot. But you're bundled up in a coat because it's cold there right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the middle of winter here in Australia currently. I actually just came from the US about 3 weeks ago, and it was the exact opposite. It was nice and sunny skies, so I've really had to rug up since I've been back. But yeah, it can get pretty cold here. Not like it can in the US, but it's pretty cold here right now.
Yeah, well, I had no idea. So you learn something new every day. So, well, that's great. Thanks for coming back on. Jim's with Caleb and Brown. We're going to talk crypto tonight. We're going to talk about, we have big news to break for Caleb and Brown that you might not be aware of. Happened recently. We'll talk about that in a second. And that'll affect hundreds and close to thousands of you listening to this. I'll tell you why in just a moment. But before we do that, we should be live right now on YouTube and Rumble and Twitter. So I always like to do a quick check. Let me know if you can see us and hear us. Just give me a comment, give me a 5x5 or tell me where you're listening from. Always like to make sure that we're connected, and it looks like we are. I see a lot of you on here with us, but drop me a comment. And then if you would also, I know everyone said that, but please like and share this wherever you're watching. That helps let the algorithm know that you like and enjoy this, and then it pushes it out to more people. So, we've got a big announcement that I want everyone to hear. So if you'll help us with those two housekeeping items, that would be fantastic. Let me just check and see. All right. Yep. Rumble looks connected. So hello to Rumble. Hello to everybody on there with us right now. And YouTube and Twitter X. All right. Well, Jim, I had to have you on because there's big news breaking with your company. For those who don't know, Caleb and Brown is one of the biggest and most respected cryptocurrency brokerages, exchanges out there. And I partnered up with you guys about a month ago because I've just been so impressed with what you've been doing and started telling people about your company. I've been watching you guys since 2017, but finally decided, you're the real deal and you've stood the test of time. And when other exchanges have stolen people's funds or gone out of business or FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, all the garbage you see out there, you guys have stood the test of time and risen above all of it and really done some incredible stuff. I think you're active now in like over 100 countries, 37,000 customers, some crazy details. So that's why I partnered with you. And in the last month or two, we have had hundreds of people sign up for an account, get their account created. We're probably coming up on over 1,000 here shortly. So it's been incredible. It's been something that I thought people would really like this, and turns out, when you hit those numbers, that in fact it's proven to be something that people are really enjoying. But I'll let you speak to it here in just a minute. But it turns out that the customers are not the only people that like Caleb and Brown. You were just acquired by another company. If I'm saying the name right, Swiftex. How do you say it?
Correct. Yeah. Swiftex, you got it right.
So Swiftex is the largest exchange in Australia. And what I think is so amazing about this is they clearly see something special in Caleb and Brown, and that's why they bought you guys. So we'll talk about what that means for everybody here in just a moment. We'll go through all the details. Spoiler alert, it's basically business as usual. But I think there's a really big point here that when a company buys another company, especially, I think it was reportedly for like $66 million or something, that's a very, very big purchase. And they do their homework before they pull the trigger on something like that. And so I'm sure they did all their underwriting, they did all their due diligence, and they found out the same thing that I found out when I did all that, is that this is a fantastic company and that's why they bought you. But I think that is a detail that really bears repeating, because it really shows that, hey, it's not just Noah saying this is a great company. Someone did some pretty extensive due diligence and figured out we really like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. So as Noah rightly mentioned, Swiftex has acquired Caleb Brown, and you're right. The due diligence process, really, about any M&A deal, takes a really long time. The thing that really stood out from their perspective about Caleb Brown is not only the US presence, which I'll touch on in a second, but really the unique service offering that we provide. Swiftex, as you mentioned, is a really large exchange, probably the biggest in Australia, but it's an exchange at the end of the day. So it's very different in terms of how we operate as a brokerage model. And as they learned more and more about our business and really spoke to a lot of what our client experiences have been over the journey, as you mentioned, since 2016, they fell in love with the business model and how we service clients, how we're a personalized white glove operation, and really saw that as a really distinct and unique offering compared to what most exchanges do in this space. So they were really excited in terms of that component, how much they love the brokerage model and how much they believe in that as well. And I think we can all agree that, look, this space is great for a lot of things. What it really lacks is that personal touch. It lacks that actual education element. To have someone that can be a trusted resource and go-to dedicated broker is something that really resonated with them, and was, I would arguably say, that the main reason they purchased us is that they want to continue to grow that brokerage model out. The other main component is that, look, a lot of our clients, I would say anywhere from 80 to 90% of our client base is based in the US, and they're an Australian exchange with no US presence. So they want to naturally, as the US here becomes the crypto capital of the world, they want to expand within the largest crypto market, and they want to do so with a trusted party like us, where we have the relevant licenses, where we already have a really trusted high base of clients to really accelerate those efforts, which is great for Swiftex, but it's even more importantly great for us because it means now we have a larger balance sheet, we have more resources, which means we can expand far quicker into the US market than what we were currently doing by ourselves. So very exciting in a lot of respects. We could touch on what the changes will mean moving forward, but as Noah mentioned, it's pretty much going to be continue to operate as we have been, as a separate business, simply because they don't want to change the service that we've been providing to clients for so long.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things, of course, my primary business is covering the news, and we've been doing that for 10 years at WLT Report. And one of the things that I just love and smile at myself is when we cover a story and, maybe it's early or maybe it's, a disputed story, and then it comes back and it's proven to be true by something that happens in the future. That happens a lot, and it always kind of makes me smile. And I just kind of feel the same way here. It's like I told everybody a couple months ago, Caleb and Brown's the real deal. They're a great company. And then, I think, hundreds of people agreed with me. But now you just kind of got that rubber stamp on the top because this Swiftex came along and did all their homework, and they said, yeah, this is a real great company, and we want to have them as part of what we do. So I think that's so cool. I love that. So you said it's basically business as usual, and that's also great. Sometimes when a company buys another company, they change things up or they merge you into what they do, and you lose the essence of what it was. None of that's happening here. It's business as usual. And like I said, we've had hundreds, coming up on 1,000 people signing up, creating Caleb and Brown accounts since I first started talking about it. So we've got a lot of people that have done that. But for the people that are maybe listening to you and I right now, Jim, business as usual, maybe we can just recap what that is, because there might be a lot of people saying, all right, you keep telling me how great Caleb and Brown is. What is it that they really do? So, to me, the big things, and you mentioned it, but the probably the biggest thing is you get assigned a personal broker when you create an account. There's no extra charge for that. There's no extra hidden fee. You create an account, and you're going to get a broker assigned to you, and that's your broker. You talk to them every time you want to do something. If you have a question about something, you can call them up or email them. Say, hey, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about Bitcoin, or I'm thinking about XRP, or I'm thinking about Ethereum. I got some questions. Can you tell me what your market research is showing? And they'll sit down and they'll talk with you. I mean, it's incredible. It's like we always used to have with the stockbroker. We haven't had it in crypto outside of your company. There's no one that you can't pick up the phone and call someone at Coinbase. you can't pick up the phone and call someone at your cold storage wallet. It just doesn't exist. There is no customer service department. And so the fact that you can call someone and it's the same person every time. So if I get to know my broker, my broker's Andrew, and I can call Andrew, and he'll know me, and if maybe 3 years down the road, he'll have a whole history with me of what we've talked about. He knows which coins I like. He knows my risk tolerance, my risk profile. He knows my age, my demographics. What are my goals in crypto, all of that stuff, and he also knows he can know that, hey, unless I'm talking to Noah, nothing happens in his account unless I talk to him. We're going to keep this thing. This is going to be safe.
Absolutely.
It's going to be secure. And I just love that. So I love the idea. If you've been hearing about crypto for a long time now, because it's probably been about 10 years that it's been in the news, Bitcoin, and you're like, yeah, I get it. I have no idea where to start. I don't want to learn all this stuff. I don't want to get a wallet and stick it in my safe at home. I don't even trust that. I'm not techie. I don't know how to do that stuff. You can finally do it the way we always used to do it with stocks. You can call your broker, email them, and they'll hold your hand through the whole thing. So I love that. You don't have to. You can log in and trade yourself too. I like that as well. But that's number one. And then number two is just the safety of it. Let me throw this up on the screen, but I created a special link here. I thought it was so important. I call it safewithnoah.com because I think safety is so important. That link right there will take, if anybody wants to find out more about this and you want to make sure you go to the right place, you go to safewithnoah.com. It'll take you right to my landing page on the Caleb and Brown homepage. You'll see my name and logo up there, and you'll see Caleb and Brown. When you see those two things together, you're in the right place. But safety is so important in crypto, and that can mean doing scams. There's a lot of scams out there, a lot of scammers, but also just making a mistake. There's a lot of ways to make mistakes in crypto, and you send something to the wrong place, or to the wrong wallet address, or to a scammer, or you send the wrong thing. You're supposed to send Bitcoin, but you send XRP, and all of a sudden your crypto's just gone. It just vanished. You don't have to worry about that with Caleb and Brown. They take your crypto, they put it into institutional grade custody. It's insured, it's safe. And so to me, I got my personal broker and I got safety, and they've got insurance through a company called Fireblocks. So if anything happens, which it never has, but even if something did, they are insured. They're regulated by, like I said, over 100 different countries. So imagine how good a company has to be regulated by 100 different countries. That's amazing. So, Jim, I'm talking a lot, but it's because I'm passionate about it and I really like it. So those are the two things that stand out to me. And circling back to what you said, none of that is changing. It is business as usual, right?
Correct. Yeah. If anything, it means we'll be able to provide an even better service than what we currently do, although that's a pretty high quality service, because we'll have more resources, and especially within the US market, which is where, look, probably most of your readers come from and where most of our clients are based. So you hit the nail on the head when it comes to, look, having a dedicated resource in this space is really valuable and important to have. Our brokers have been through different market cycles, so they have that perspective. They're experts in their field when it comes to not only crypto, but traditional finance as well. We have a lot of people that work at some of the largest banks here in Australia. So they can give you that overall holistic perspective on what's happening in the market and how it pertains to your specific portfolio. I think Noah hit the nail on the head when he spoke about, look, every investor is completely different. Some are very new to crypto and need their hand held throughout the whole journey. They may have a specific interest in, say, one asset. You may then have another client that has an interest in over 10 assets and has a really different kind of risk profile. So it's really valuable to have that dedicated resource that's there for you. And not only will you have a dedicated broker, you'll actually have a customer support team around your account. So this is a complex space where, unfortunately, if you click on a bad link and you're using a hot wallet, things can happen that can impact your savings and your security. So it's really valuable to have someone you can call to double check that your assets are protected, even in the scenario that are not with us, right? Like we have a lot of clients that will hold a portion of their assets with us and maybe they hold another portion elsewhere. You have us for whatever aspect or question you have, whether it's with assets related to us or assets you're holding elsewhere. So I think that's a really important part. And then Noah's mentioned before, security and custody of assets is arguably the most important thing when it comes to investing in crypto. Wealth preservation is something that most people take for granted. And usually they don't have the necessary sort of safety or security protocols in place to protect their assets. So that's where, look, we offer our custody solution, but it's certainly not mandatory. We even help our clients set up their own hardware wallet if that's the route they want to go down. So it's about having that level of optionality. And exactly right. When it comes to this acquisition, nothing will change on that front. That overall service we provide is something that Swiftex loves. It's something that we know our clients love and expect from us. So if anything, we'll be providing an even better service with more resources, with more funding behind what we do.
Yeah, no, that's great. And there was a split second when I saw the headline come out that Caleb and Brown had been acquired. I thought, oh no, it's going to change. And it's like my heart kind of skipped a beat for a minute. And then as I started learning more, I realized this is tremendous news, and nothing is changing. It's only getting better. You're getting bigger and stronger and more resources. So that's really good. So I want to put everyone at ease. If you see the headline like that, like I did, you're safe. You're in a good place, and things have only just gotten a little bit better. And Jim, I'll tell you what you're talking about being able to call your broker. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been doing crypto on my own, basically. I mean, I talk to my family, they don't get it. It's like nobody I can talk to. And we're all kind of, all of us crypto people are kind of naturally kind of private anyway. So, we're not talking a lot to each other. And so it's been fun for me that I get to talk to you, and I get to talk to Andrew, and I can just, we can have a chat and talk about, what are you thinking? And it's been nice to have some people to chat with again, and knowledgeable people too, right? I mean, I can talk to people about Bitcoin and XRP all day long, but they look at, they look at you like you have two heads. They don't get it. So it's nice to chat with you guys. It's been really fun. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the market too. And speaking of that, just kind of get some thoughts from you. But before we do that, to anybody, like I said, we have had hundreds of people and closing in on about 1,000 sign up and create accounts since I first introduced this to everybody. And that's been fantastic. But I want to speak to a couple different groups here really quick. If this is the first time you're hearing about this, or if you heard me a month ago and you're like, I just haven't gotten around to it yet, I would really encourage everybody at least sign up and create an account. It's free, number one. So it's not like I'm trying to get you to buy something. But I'm trying to get you to get your foot in the door is what I'm trying to get you to do. Right now, nothing is changing. There's Caleb and Brown is still taking on new clients. We've said that a lot tonight, that nothing's changing. But things do change in life, and sometimes gosh, I think you've got over 37,000 customers, and probably going to grow faster now. At some point, you might not have enough personal brokers to keep up, and I've definitely seen companies before put a waiting list up, or hey, we'll add your name to the wait list, but we're full right now. So I would just really encourage people, even if you don't plan on buying Bitcoin next week, that's fine. Just create an account and get it set up, and then as soon as you have your account created, you can have a call with your broker. And in fact, they're going to reach out to you and want to talk to you. They're going to want to meet you. So it's not too often you can sign up for a service for free and get to kick the tires a little bit. But you can do that with this, with Caleb and Brown. So to the people that haven't done that yet, I would really encourage you, just go do it. It's really easy. The link is at the top of this screen, and I'll also put it in the comments below, safewithnoah.com. That takes you right to my page. You're in the right spot. And then to the other group of people that have done that, and I've gotten so many emails and comments and people saying this was really great. It was exactly like you said it was, or like you said it would be. So I love that. I love it when, of course, I've had a personal experience with you guys, and I don't really recommend anything that I don't personally use myself. So I knew it was good, but I always love hearing that feedback when other people have that great experience too. But if you're in the group of people that have signed up, you got your foot in the door, you created an account, and you haven't really done anything else yet, I'd encourage you to take that next step. Test it out. I mean, you don't have to go crazy, but try placing an order. See what it's like. Make sure you get your account verified. I've been around this, Jim. I think I've been through 2 bull markets, and each time I was never quite ready for it. It's like, oh, Bitcoin's taken off, and it's like, oh, but I think the first one was like my Coinbase account wasn't verified yet back in 2017 or whatever. And so I wasn't really ready. And then the next time, I think it was the next one. I didn't have my limits raised high enough or whatever. So I couldn't really participate. So you want to make sure you've got everything ready to go. So you get in there, verify your account, do all that stuff that we all have to do. It's not, all the KYC stuff. You have to do it in this world. So go do that, get it done. and get your account ready and transfer a little money in there, and then you're ready when you want to test it out. So I would encourage everybody to do that, and then please do send me an email. I've heard from so many of you, but I love hearing your feedback. It's noah@dailynoah.com. Just shoot me an email and let me know how it went for you. I think you're going to be very well taken care of, and you're going to have a great experience. But I love hearing that. So shoot me an email. So, all right. Well, go ahead, Jim.
Oh, I was just going to echo on that sentiment that look, in periods of bull markets, and I've been through a few now. There are certainly times where, say, exchanges go under, or a few exchanges have gone under actually, but more so that there's downtime as well, which means that it's really difficult to actually get an account created and get started when you want to. And especially in periods of high demand, that's where you'll start to see really quick appreciation of assets. So if it takes you an extra 2 or 3 days to get your account set up, you may have already missed a 5, 10%, 15% gain. So what we always suggest, especially on our end, is look, once you've got an account created with us, you can execute a trade within the minute. But we do have periods where there's really high demand, and we only have so many onboarding resources within our team. So sometimes actually onboarding the account can take a little longer. So I would recommend that if you haven't created an account, as Noah mentioned, it's completely free to do so. It's free to speak to a broker without upfront any capital at all. So I would very much recommend to do so if you are interested in investing in the crypto space, and just be ready to go, because when things in a bull market, when things start to go well, they go well very quickly, and it's quite a volatile space. So a lot of people want to get in and out really quickly, or get in before it really starts to appreciate. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to these next few months in the crypto market.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I was thinking as you were talking there, Jim, is things you said, exchanges go down or things change in bull markets, and they really do. If you haven't been through one before, and I think we're just on the cusp of a new bull market starting here pretty soon. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you haven't been through one, things can change very quickly. So, you might say, well, it's no big deal. I've already got my Coinbase account. I can just log in there if I need to. I'm covered. And maybe you will be, maybe you won't. But I'll tell you what I've seen in the past is a couple things happen when the market starts going crazy. Number one, sometimes you can't even log into those exchanges. They just go down. I mean, now maybe they've solved that now, but I'm telling you, I lived through it for the past 8 years. And every time it was starting to get exciting, all of a sudden I couldn't log into my account. So that's number one. And then number two, I've also seen they'll lower your limits. And some people don't even know that on Coinbase and other exchanges, you have daily trading limits, you have 30-day trading limits, and you have withdrawal limits. And some people, you might want to go check your accounts right now, because you might have a $5,000 30-day limit, and that's all you can do in that account. And you might think you have a Coinbase account, but if you really wanted to do something big, you can't. And same thing for getting your money off of there. If you actually, do well, and I know a lot of people have, because we're sitting at basically all-time highs right now. If you've done really well, you might be surprised that you can't get all that money off of there. And that might be news to someone that's listening to this right now, that it might take you quite a long time to get your money off of those exchanges if you have low limits. So I think I know the answer to this, but no limits with you guys, right, Jim?
Yeah, no limits. So you can withdraw it at any amount of size, and we won't charge you for that, which is another big component. They may limit you, which means that, say you have 100K and you can only do 10K a day, they'll actually charge you each day as well to do those 10K withdrawals. So it can add up in terms of fees.
Yes. And one question I got from a lot of people last time we did a show was, okay, well, this sounds really good, but it sounds really expensive too. So you guys just have a lot of fees out there. And the answer, I'll let you speak to it, but you guys have one fee and that's it, right? I mean, no hidden fees anywhere. You want to tell the people what to expect in terms of cost or fees?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, transparency is probably like the number one thing that we really value as a business, because unfortunately, transparency isn't one of the key features of the crypto space and crypto markets. So you're exactly right. We charge a flat, transparent fee. It's the only fee that we charge. And it's just the buy, sell in and swap in of assets. And that's 3.5%. But there are no hidden costs outside of that. So there's no spread. There's no slippage, which is usually how most exchanges make most of their money. No withdrawal fees. As Noah mentioned before, there's no fee to actually speak and contact your broker. So you can contact them when you need. No custody fees as well, which is a big one. Most other platforms or services will charge a small transaction fee, but to actually use their custody and hold your assets with them, which most of us are doing, I would say there's a lot of our clients that are active traders. A lot of other platforms will charge custody fees where our custody is free of charge. So again, it's just on the buy, sell, swap. If you plan to use another platform, very much look into all the fees incorporated with using that platform, including, as Noah mentioned, when it comes time to actually exit, that you can do so seamlessly, because often we don't think about that until we're ready to do it. And then you realize that there's a whole bunch of limitations in getting that done as quickly as you'd like.
Yes, and I'm going to share my screen here real quick. There we go. Can you guys everyone see that? One thing we talked about last time, and Jim just hinted at it right now, but there's only one fee. It's a trading fee, and that's it. There's no hidden fees, but there's also no slippage, and that's a concept people might not be aware of. But I saw this post recently, and I thought it really illustrated it well. You might not realize this, but if you're looking at the price of Bitcoin, and in this, he gives an example here, which I think is really accurate, and you can go test this. Don't trust what I'm saying. Go test it yourself. If Bitcoin's at $105,600, if you wanted to buy Bitcoin, he's telling you, and you go verify this. You don't have to make decisions based on a random tweet, but go verify this yourself, and I think you'll find this is very close. If you want to go buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, and it's currently at 105,600, they're going to charge you a lot higher than that to buy it. So if you go place a buy order, you might be buying it closer to $106,900. That's what slippage means. So all that money that they charge you higher, you're losing out on that. If you flip it around, if you've been holding Bitcoin for a while and it's at 105,600, and you think, I'm going to cash out a little bit, you can't sell it at 105,600. You're going to sell it more at something like 103,650. So go test it out yourself. You can put a sample order in and just see what price they're going to charge you. But that's what slippage means. And Jim, you guys have so much liquidity, and the way you do your pricing and source the assets, this is the kind of stuff that you guys don't do. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So the price that you see in terms of the price that you potentially buy at, so that's what this tweet is saying. The price that I buy at and the price that I sell at, if I do it within, the same minutes, obviously there might be a minor difference. It should really be the same price. In this scenario, this is where spreads happen. So the spread is the difference between the price you buy it at and the price that you sell it at. We don't charge any of that. So you'll get the exact same price. You get the best price. So in this scenario, based on this tweet, if you were to buy Bitcoin with us, it would be quite close to $105,600. And then let's just say after you bought it, you tried to sell it immediately, it'll be very close to that amount as well. Whereas you can see a very big variance here between the price that Coinbase is allowing you to buy it at, but then the price that they sell it for you at is where they make their margin. That's where their spread comes in. That's how they make most of their money.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I know I had a lot of people ask me, I don't know what slippage means, or margin, or spread, or any of that stuff. So that's just a simple example. But as you can see, that would start to add up very fast. So very cool. Well, Jim, we've got, like I said, we've got a lot of people connected with us. If anybody has any questions you want to ask, go ahead and ask them in the chat, and I'll try and look out for them. But I thought maybe we could wrap up here as we look to see if any questions come in. Just wrap up, maybe talking about the market a little bit, kind of a sneak peek. I mean, you're not one of the brokers, but I know you follow it closely, so we can kind of do a little mini chat of what it's like chatting with someone at Caleb and Brown. It's I'd love to get your take on the market. I know you guys have a ton of internal research. It's kind of funny to say that we're at all-time highs and it's very, very boring. I didn't think we'd be there, but Bitcoin is basically at 110,000. That's the all-time high, but it's been there for probably 3 or 4 weeks now, just sitting there waiting, trading sideways, as they say. And it's just kind of boring. But right at the time you start to get lulled to sleep is when the big moves come. So just curious, obviously no one has a crystal ball, but what are you guys seeing in some of your market research?
Yes, I mean, I'll touch on June because it was quite an eventful month. But really it brought to light just how resilient, especially Bitcoin is, but really the crypto markets in general. So, I mean, we all know that June was really dominated by geopolitical macro factors, the main one being the Iran-Israel conflict, which really escalated and at a brief moment involved the US as well. That caused a bit of a negative reaction in the market, as you can imagine. And when these things happen, risk on assets like crypto, as much as we will eventually get away from it being considered a risk on asset, it still very much is considered that within the broader market, really suffers when events like this occur. There's fears around war and escalation. But a ceasefire for that obviously happened on, I think it was June 24. That really helped ease any market anxiety and actually provide a bit of a relief rally. But on top of that as well, we saw a lot of positivity when it came to trade agreements. So I would say that was the other big thing around tariffs and how that would impact the global economy. So I think we saw agreements made with China, Vietnam, and the UK. And so really throughout that time, Bitcoin remained quite resilient. As you mentioned, it's still pretty much near 110K. It's up 13% year to date for the year. So it's really done pretty well, especially considering some of these events that have occurred. We're still not yet at that point where altcoins have followed suit. And usually, as you mentioned, in a bull market, it's usually where Bitcoin consolidates around all-time highs that then the flow of funds then flows down into altcoins. But, even year to date, Bitcoin's down about 25%. Solana's down 17%. So really, we've seen that Bitcoin still remained that sort of safe haven asset. But certainly, we're quite bullish that, look, as long as the macroeconomic and geopolitical environment stays relatively steady, which is not something we've experienced recently, that we'll start to see more and more performance and stronger performance from the altcoin market. So you're right in the sense that it's been probably leaning towards not pessimism, but I guess I would say sort of indifference when it comes to the market. Yet if you looked at the price of Bitcoin, you looked at how the market's generally performing, it's still quite strong. And July is usually a very strong month when it comes to crypto historically. I don't think we've had a negative month in July since crypto really became a thing. So I would imagine that July will be a strong month. But certainly the main things to look out for is, global liquidity trends, how's inflation tracking. I think July 30th will be another US federal rate cut decision. That usually has a really big impact on risk assets. The China tariffs, I think the pause will expire in August. Again, another really important factor to take into consideration that will move the market one way or another. And then the other component, which kind of gets lost in when we're all looking at the market, is the US crypto legislation is continuing to develop. The Genius Act, I believe, will go ahead to Trump this week, who is most likely going to sign it. That has massive ramifications on stablecoin usage within the US, how businesses can start to use stablecoins. And we're just going to see more and more in terms of the US providing more regulatory clarity when it comes to how crypto can be used, not only by crypto companies, but even more importantly, the largest businesses within the US. So I think that backdrop is really positive, and that almost gets lost sometimes because we're just thinking about the current day-to-day price movements. But crypto is certainly becoming more and more adopted within the US framework and way of doing things, which I think ultimately long-term is a really positive indicator. So there's a few things to look out for, but certainly July historically has been a really strong month for crypto. And, as long as the geopolitical tensions can subside, I think we'll see that again this month.
Hey, well, there you go. I think you're spot on. And obviously, you know a lot more than I do, but I've been at this a lot for a lot of years. And, there have been times when we didn't know if crypto was going to be outright banned or you were going to be a criminal for holding it or what.
Wasn't that long ago?
No, it wasn't. And so there were, we lived through those periods, and to now be in the spot where we're in now, it's just a total change. And it feels like instead of everything being stacked against us, we're starting to have all these catalysts just stacked, putting fuel on the fire, just all the ones that you just mentioned, just hitting back to back to back. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. I will reiterate to anyone, if you don't have an account or you haven't verified it or haven't tested it out, get your foot in the door, get that done, and send me a thank you email later when you're all set and ready to go. So I think you'll enjoy it. And then please do shoot me an email, noah@dailynoah.com. Let me know your experience. Let me know how it went. Let me know how chatting with your broker was, because I'd love to hear that. And well, Jim, thank you for coming on. Stay warm over there in Australia. Looks that That is a big coat.
It's not
So,
that cold. I think I'm carrying on a bit too much. It's not that cold here. So the coat probably wasn't necessary, but anyway.
well, it gets cold here, man, and I hate the winter time. So we're enjoying summer right now. So always great chatting with you, and we'll definitely have you back on again soon, and possibly in the middle of a bull run. So we'll talk soon. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.